Mary, we're going to get going. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bristol Town Council meeting of January 18th. If you could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. I don't think we have enough seats. I'm sorry, but thank you for coming. This is our first on the agenda, which is a citation, which was asked for by Councilman Texera. For the Kickamuit girls soccer team. And I'm going to ask if a couple of the coaches could come out. Could the coaches come up to the podium? And maybe team captains, if that's appropriate. So this council would love to first hear, how did you get here? Tell us the quick story of the road to success.
I'm actually gonna first, we are missing a captain tonight, Sarah Nenska. So I just want to make sure she got acknowledged. Big reason why we're here. But actually, I'm gonna turn it over to the other co-captain, Emma Golia, and she's gonna just give you a little idea of how our season went, undefeated state champ. So.
Good evening. For those who don't know me, my name is Emma Golia. I'm in 8th grade and I'm one of the team captains of this year's undefeated state champions, Kickamuit Middle School girls soccer team. Co-captain Sarah Nenska was unable to be here tonight. I'd like to start off by saying thank you for having us here tonight, and it is a privilege to be standing in front of you all. For those who don't know, in the 2021 state finals, half of our team was quarantined due to the pandemic circumstances. With the hard work, dedication, the support of our coaches, teammates, parents, and fans, we were able to pull through and come back to the state finals in 2022 and win it all. From day one, this team was like a second family to a lot of us. We were always there for each other, whether it was helping each other with certain things, finishing a lot together, or coming together to share emotions or experiences. We as a team are honored to be standing in front of you all to be recognized as the 2022 Middle School Girls Soccer State Champions.
I'll be very brief. I could be very lengthy as a former soccer coach, but I'm really proud of all of you. I know what it takes to be a champion, as 24 years of high school coaching and many years of youth programs. I'm really proud. It takes a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of practice time, dedication, discipline, big time, very important. And certainly you've demonstrated that this year, and we are all very proud of all of you.
Council? Anyone?
I couldn't have said it better.
All right. I think you captured well.
Excellent.
I'm just going to take a quick moment and read this citation for the Kickamuit girls soccer team in recognition of their achievement as the Eastern Division state champions. The Honorable Town Administrator and Town Council of the Town of Bristol, Rhode Island, on behalf of all the citizens of the town, extend sincerest best wishes upon completion of this extremely successful season, undefeated, my goodness, and offer collective congratulations, praise, and admiration of a town greatly honored by your accomplishment. And that's signed by Administrator Contenti, myself, Mary Perella, Tony Texera, Tim Sweeney, Aaron Lay, and Melissa Cadero, the clerk. And just to take a moment, I think Tony captured it perfectly, but congratulations. It's just outstanding. I have kids. I know how much effort moms and dads and kids put in to going to the practices, sometimes when you don't want to, right? And being there and contributing, and success was found because of the hard work and efforts that you put in, not only from mom and dad, but ultimately from the kids. You did an outstanding job. And I also wanted to thank Councilman Texera we, this council, love to share with the people of Bristol your success. And we want to do more of this. So we want you to win more championships too. So congratulations.
Woohoo.
Good. Emma, did you want to come up so I can give this to you? Co-Captain Emma, did you want to come up so I can give this to you? And can we have all the girls come up so the people of Bristol can see you? Come right around over here. Just make a half circle so everybody can see you at home.
Yeah. And
See that
you
camera
can
up there?
face-
That's where
yeah.
everybody's watching. Or no
Yeah,
half
there's
circle.
space.
Fill it
There's,
in.
there's
yeah.
more space here.
Yeah,
Back up,
come on
back
both
up,
sides.
back up.
Feel free to block us. Come on in so everybody can see you at home.
Yep, that's it.
Yep. Spread right out.
Right.
Can we get the coach in here? Yeah, come on, coach.
Coach is in here too.
Yes, yes.
All right, so everybody, a round of applause for their excellence.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Coach. Good job. Nice job. Nice job.
Congratulations.
Take care, cousin. Actually, she's my second cousin. Emma. No, Emma, the girl that book captain. They came up this book.
Tell me, isn't that just an outstanding way to start a meeting? Man,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thanks, everybody. We're just going to give it a moment. Thank you.
Undefeated too. Two undefeated. Yeah. That takes a lot of discipline, boy, just to keep the season going every game, game after game. Let me tell you.
I think that'll do it. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second,
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion?
Just that I was happy to see that the renovations for Reynolds School were moving forward and the stage and sound for the 4th of July concert series is moving forward. These are going to be fantastic projects and going to add a lot of benefit to the town.
Well said. Anything else? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is the submission of minutes. We have the town council meeting of December 21st, 2022, and the executive session minutes for December 21st, 2022.
Motion to approve?
second,
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item of business is C1. This is ordinance 2022-18, Chapter 17 to Article 2 of the alcoholic beverage establishments. And this is for the number of licenses. This is to decrease the number of Class D liquor licenses from 7 to 6 as the second reading.
make a motion to approve it.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to approve second reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is C2. This is ordinance 2023-1, Chapter 17, Article 2 of the alcoholic beverage establishment. This is also for the number of licenses. This is a decreased class of BV liquor licenses from 33 to 32, first reading.
Motion to approve?
Second,
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony to approve first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is C3. This is ordinance 2023-2, Chapter 16, Article 5, stop standing and parking, Section 16152. And this is for a curb loading zone on Thames Street, first reading.
motion to consider this the first reading.
Second?
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Tim to approve first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is C4. This is ordinance, it's 2023-3, Chapter 16, Article 5, stop standing and parking. And this is for parking prohibited at all times to amend the parking on Congregational Street, first reading.
Motion to approve?
Second,
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony to approve first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is E1. This is Kenneth Souza from All Sports Collectibles, 576 Medicom Avenue, and this is a holiday sales license renewal.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to approve or renew the holiday sales license. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is F1. This is Amy Kamiga, 81 Oliver Street. This is for removal of accessible parking space on 50 Monroe Avenue. This is second reading.
Make a motion to approve it and also with a thank you for letting us know, because as we know, parking is always a premium.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to approve second reading. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is the appointments. We have G1. This is the tree warden with a term to expire January 2024. We have an interest for reappointment from Steve Saraceno, and we also have interest in appointment from George Bouts.
Motion to reappoint Steve Saraceno.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony to reappoint Steve Saraceno. Any discussion? I'll
Just-
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
gonna say
Chairman,
what
thank
I was
you.
gonna
Yeah, I was just going to say that appreciate the town administrator's recommendation. And I just want to say that I know Steve has fantastic customer service. I hear from a lot of residents around town that he addresses the trees with care, but he also takes care of them as well. So I just think he's been a really fantastic fit as the tree warden.
Mr. Minister?
Yeah, thank you, Councilman Sweeney, for recognizing that. One key point to take away from Tree Warden Saraceno, he's very proud to the fact that we plant more trees than we remove. So it's a testament to his mindset and preservation of trees and our canopy. So I want to thank him and just make that note.
Steve, is it weird to be thought of or talked about in the third person when you're right there? No, no.
Oh, there he
No,
is.
no. We think you're doing a great job, apparently.
are.
I agree.
Oh.
So, anyone else? Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Just keep up the good work.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is G2. This is the Assistant Harbor Master list with terms to expire January 2024. There's the recommendation from the Harbor Master, and there's also an interest in appointment for Paul Labonte.
Motion to set up an interview with Paul Labonte for our next meeting, maybe February 8th at 6:30, 6:45.
Second.
And that motion would also include approval
Oh.
from
For the
recommendation?
slate,
Yes, and the approval of recommendation.
And then seconded by?
Second,
Okay,
yeah.
so motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to approve the recommended list from the Harbor Master and also set up an interview for Paul Labonte on the 8th at 6:30. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is the Auxiliary Harbor Masters with terms to expire January 2024, and we have a recommendation from the Harbor Master.
Based on a recommendation from the Harbor Master, I move that we approve it.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Tim to approve the Auxiliary Harbor Master list put in front of us. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is G4. This is the CRMC representative with a term to expire January 2024. We have John Triano III with interest in reappointment, George Bouts with interest in appointment, and Kevin Manuel with interest in appointment.
I would make a motion that we reappoint John. However, we should set interviews for the other two individuals because I believe that the interest in a few other boards, as we'll see.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to reappoint John and also to reach out to George and Kevin to set up interviews for potential other boards. I guess we're going to get there in a second. Any other discussion?
And that would be for the February 8th meeting interview.
February 8th?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Just one point of clarification. What would we be interviewing Mr. Bouts for?
I would say both of them would be, I was a little premature actually, because we have a few other appointments coming up. So I probably should have just stayed with the reappointment, and then we could visit those as they come up.
Okay.
Okay, so I was a little premature, so I will withdraw
Okay.
the interviews on this one.
Mary, is there a second on that?
Yes, that's fine.
Any other discussion? So clarity is we're on this motion is just to reappoint John Troiano. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Good point, though. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is G5. This is special constable, private investigators, matrons, and retiree officers with the terms to expire January 2024. And we have the recommendation for appointment from the chief of police.
Based on a recommendation from the police chief, I move that we approve it.
I'll second. Tony, I think there was mentioned in the recommendation to remove a particular person, Janet,
Right,
who's no longer employee. So just wonder if that's,
definitely. Please include that.
okay, great.
So we'll
And
follow
I-
that recommendation of removal
Mhm.
and
Awesome.
appoint the others. And that's the motion, is it? And there was a second on that. Any other discussion? Any other discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is G7. This is G6, the Special Constable Fire Police with terms to expire January 24. And this is the recommendation with one additional member from the fire chief.
I make a motion that we approve it with a recommendation from the fire chief.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to approve as presented with recommendation. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is G7. This is the Bristol Housing Authority tenant's position. This is one term set to expire January 2028. We have Pascal DeLacio with interest in reappointment, and there's also a recommendation from the executive director, Candy Panza, and then there's also interest in appointment from Kathy Kaylee.
Based on the recommendation, make a motion to reappoint.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony to reappoint Pasquale DeLacio. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is G8. This is the Board of Tenants Affairs. This is two terms set to expire January 2025. We have Donald Liminello Senior with interest in reappointment. We have Carol Paulette, which is with letter of resignation. Paula Ferreira with interest in appointment. And then you'll also find D as Kevin Manuel. However, he cannot be on the board because he actually has to be a member. So if we can strike that out, that's an error.
So, I just wanted to bring up, I wonder if the woman who applied for the Kathy Kaylee, maybe she would want to be on this particular, she was not, she's a resident of the Benjamin Church, and she had applied to be on the commission.
Right, well, you also have two other interest in appointments for two terms. So do you want to add a third one and do interviews?
You know what?
I think we should.
I think we should too. And if the council's amenable to it, maybe we can move that to 6:15. We've
Yeah.
added a.
Yep.
We'll
Adding a
have
lot
to
of
be
people
gosh
here.
darn efficient, but is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
All right, so
So-
what was the motion? I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion. I don't know if anybody made a motion. Motion to reappoint Donald Luminello, Carol Polloy. We accept the resignation with a letter of thanks. And we are going to set up an interview for Paula Ferreira for the February 8th meeting.
And the Kathy Kaylee to see if she's interested
And
from
Kathy,
the prior housing authority.
yep, and Kathy.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a
Okay.
discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the appointment of the Bristol Prevention Coalition. This is terms to expire January 2025, and we have a proposed list of members from Barbara Palumbo, the coordinator.
Council?
I move that we accept the list as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Mary, seconded by Tony to accept as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item of business is G10. This is the Joint Finance Committee. These are terms to expire January 2025.
Motion to approve the roster as stated.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony to approve, which just for clarity is the council and the administrator as it has been in the past. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is G11. This is the Police Pension Board of Trustee. This is one term set to expire April 2025. It's a currently vacant appointment, and we have Kevin Manuel with interest in appointment.
Did we just move the interview time to 6 o'clock?
We just did.
Yeah, who knows, right?
6.
Motion.
And I assume that we'll,
Yeah, motion to set up an interview with Kevin Manuel.
Second.
motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to set up that interview for February 8th. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And before we move forward, thank you to all of the boards and commissions reappointed. Thank you for all the people who expressed interest in those positions that unfortunately were not appointed at this moment, but there are always opportunities. So as you've done, continue to watch what's available, and this council and the town very much appreciates the efforts and energies that go into not only the boards that we talked about this evening, but all of our boards and commissions. Thank you.
Just briefly, I have to concur 100%, 105% with you. And also the fact that we've had some folks that are stepping up to serve, as so the volunteerism is strong, and we certainly appreciate them stepping forward.
Great.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item of business is H1. This is Town Administrator Contente in regard to the Bristol Historical Flags Annual Update by Barnum Armory Museum.
Mr. Administrator.
Thank you. In the packet is a communication from the curator at the Varnum Armory, Patrick Donovan. And it just updates the status of the 8 flags that were agreed to be lent to the Varnum Continentals to be on display. There's the list of what the current status is. I'll read it out. The Nathaniel Byfield flag, that's the oldest known surviving Revolutionary War battle flag. That's fully conserved, mounted, and on display. There's currently plans to bring it to the Museum of the U.S. Army, and with credit to the town of Bristol. The Babbitt Post flags, there are 2 of them from the Civil War era. One of them is framed, and they offered one to be displayed here at Town Hall, and I've agreed to accept it. The U.S. Navy ensign, World War I period, cleaned, no conservation needed. 33-star Civil War period flag, waiting conservation. It's in storage. They're looking for funding for the conservation. And the late 19th century US flags are in poor condition. Their market value is not worth conserving them. They're in storage. So that's all 8.
Well, thank you for the report.
Thank you.
And certainly it's nice to see that, the amount of time, even though we thought they were falling apart, will be of no use when they were upstairs, displayed upstairs in the Burnside building.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the update.
Yeah.
Just need to receive and file motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to receive and file. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is I1. This is David Scarpino, the chairman of the Bristol Christmas Festival. And this is appreciation of town support for the grand illumination and Christmas festival events.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
If you could state your name and address for the record,
Dave
please.
Scarpino, 932 Hope Street.
Again, welcome.
I'm in my cheering section here. So with
Outstanding.
me, the large crowd, we did bring Lindsay Flanagan, my daughter Laura Scarpino, and Lori Cruz. Laura and Lori happen to be the co-chairs of the Christmas festival celebration. So everything I say, they have made happen. But I just wanted to, in all honesty, I'm in charge, obviously, of the tree lighting, They're in charge of the Christmas festival, but we want to be thankful and recognize the town council for the support you guys have all, and ladies, have given us. The
Mhm.
fact that our specialty drink went off without a hitch. Obviously to the town administrator, who's always supportive. We come into Steve and talk to him all the time. But really special thanks to the police chief, Chief Lynch, because the plan that was put into effect to keep everybody safe, the closing off of the streets, the thoughtfulness of Lieutenant St. Pierre and Sergeant Vieira, they're amazing to work with. Seamless, easy to talk to, have the best interest of the town in mind. So it was a pleasure for us to deal with. It really was. The fire chief, I mean, the DPW, Chris Perella. We dealt with Maritime Center. So dealing with Greg, all great partners. But the thing that was a little bit different this year, and I know the school doesn't come under the auspices of the town council, but we did reach out to the schools and to the superintendent and to the school committee, and we did go and thank them last week. And we asked them to come and showcase the children, showcase the band, showcase the choirs. So they came to the grand illumination. We had band members there, we had the high school choir there, and we had each school represented. And they also came to the festival and they sang and they performed. So we also want to thank the folks there, David Lauria, Chris Lambert, Terry Thurber. I knew I should have written it down. Susan Winterbottom and Lauren Engetti, who helped my Laura come up with a coloring book for the children. So the school children designed the pages that were to be colored. So it was a nice way for the town to come together, do a celebration, and to support us and to help us support the town. So we're thankful for it, and we look forward to, we are going to do a debrief, aren't we, Chief? And hopefully we'll be back next year to tell you about our plans. So thank you very much.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
done.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Just need a motion to receive and file, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to receive and file. In just a moment to say again, thank you. Feedback was very, very positive from a lot. It was well attended, and like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree like this, and then everything is gone again. It's impressive. So,
Right.
so nice job. Any other discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is Clerk Cadero. This is the draft budget workshop schedule for the fiscal year of 23-24.
So let me get there. There we go. So thank you. This is very difficult to do, Madam Clerk. So I know there's a lot that goes into it, including thinking about advertising on it. In talking with Councilman Sweeney, we want to take a look at, right now, JFC has two meetings, as it always does, and the second one was scheduled last year for March 29th. Am I correct, Councilman Sweeney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had looked at, because of the way our budget is scheduled, a couple things. Number one, this year's budget schedule is concentrated. So less days, and that's actually a good thing. We've been extremely efficient on it. This council and administrator have been here for multiple years. So there's a lot of things that don't have to be discussed there. We have that knowledge base and less questions, and there's a lot of things that need to be discussed. But we've closed that into 3 days. So the potential here is to change one of the dates from the 29th, and I'm talking about the JFC meeting currently scheduled for the 29th, and move that, Tim, to the 23rd. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, Thursday, the 23rd at 7 o'clock. Yep.
Okay. So part of the being an abbreviated schedule or concentrated schedule is that we leave ourselves very little room. So we can reach out to the solicitor if there's anything that we need to do. For example, if Wednesday night we're not able to complete what we want to the day before the JFC meeting we're speaking of, then maybe we continue that meeting till Monday, and maybe we advertise as an extra day on Monday. Is it already advertised right now?
It is not advertised, so this is just the draft agenda. So if the council wants to amend it to add Monday, March 27th as the additional day instead of the 23rd, we can.
Is everybody okay with that?
I think
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Yeah.
just in case,
Just
right?
in-
And it's advertised correctly. Does that make sense?
I'm just a little confused.
Right.
Confused. So we keep in the 23rd? Yes, no.
So let's go through this.
Okay.
Right now, what is being proposed would be Monday, the 20th, Tuesday, the 21st, and Wednesday, the 22nd as our budget workshop. And then take the 23rd, Thursday, and make that the Joint Finance Committee second meeting. Now, obviously, Joint Finance needs to vote on this. Assuming that this is all positive, we would make Thursday, March 23rd, not part of our budget, but it would be the JFC second meeting. And then we would add Monday, please tell me the date
March
again,
27th.
March
As the
27th
additional day.
as an additional day if needed. Does that
Great.
make sense?
Makes sense. And then I think we have a provisional vote on the 29th.
Right.
So, right, so.
But
What-
still keep the 29th though, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, is that there's an opportunity, depending on what discussion is necessary. It allows us to have lots of dialogue prior to the joint finance final vote, and then subsequent meeting if necessary to adjust, do whatever we need to do, right? So does that make sense? Everybody agree with that?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Better safe than sorry. So I like the extra day on the 27th.
Madam Clerk, any issues that you see with that?
No, I do not.
Great. Mr. Administrator? Perfect. All right, can we have a motion to that effect?
And then JFC will be the same time as our meeting would have been on the 23rd, right? 6:30 probably.
So we'll have to leave that up.
Okay.
I would say most of the time JFCs tended to be in the 6:37
Okay,
zone.
yep.
So,
Yeah, it tends to be in that range.
Okay.
Yeah.
so could we have a motion to that effect?
So we move to approve the proposed schedule for the budget workshops as well as the additional meetings
Right,
To
as
amend
stated.
it.
as
To amend
amended.
it.
As amended.
We're amending it, not as,
So we are
you're
amending.
amending
not
the
revising.
March 23rd to March 27th.
Gotcha.
Everybody okay?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm good
Is there a
with that.
second?
Second?
Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I3 and I4 are both executive sessions. You want to push those over to the end?
Yes, please.
The next item will move to I5. This is Councilman Sweeney. This is a resolution to modify the Historic District membership composition to appoint a second auxiliary member.
Councilman?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Chair. As we all know, the HDC is an extremely important commission as far as keeping business going in town. It identifies and evaluates structures and sites that are worthy for preservation. With that said, we find that sometimes a quorum can be difficult. And by adding a second alternate, this gives this commission the support that they need and also the training opportunities it needs to bring new representatives up the ranks. So I would like to make a motion to accept the resolution to add a second alternate to the HDC and to refer this resolution to Representative Donovan and Senator Felag to take legislative action.
Second.
We had a motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron. I heard Aaron first. To support the resolution as Councilman Sweety's already stated. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, Councilman Sweeney, is the chairperson aware of this proposal?
Excellent question, Tony. Councilman Texera, definitely. I have reached out to Ori Lima and got her blessing. I reached out to Ansi Tights. He thought it was a great idea and obviously drafted the resolution. Chris Ponder, Ben Birkenholt, John Allen, all on HGC members, all agreed that this is the support that they need on their commission, and they champion the moving forward with this.
I also spoke with the chairman about something else, and this conversation came up, and it, although it's not a chronic issue from discussions with her, it doesn't happen that often. Anytime it happens is a challenge for, well, for the public to be able to get what they need to get done and move forward. Delays are expensive, and especially, I think we're going to hit a couple of expenses here in a moment that we'll talk about, and the challenges of today. So anything that we can do, in my opinion, to make sure that those things move forward as they need to makes a lot of sense.
Good.
Well said, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that these projects move forward for our residents. Definitely.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, the next item on the agenda is J1. This is RFP 997, and this is for the Reynolds School renovations. The bid opening was today at noon. We did receive 3 bids. The first bid was from Westway Construction, Inc. in the amount of $3,480,000. The second one was from Martone Service Company, Inc. in the amount of $4,388,535. And the last one was from Marin Construction Company, Inc. in the amount of $3,347,000.
I make a motion that we refer this to the town administrator to act in the best interest of the town and certainly consider any of the construction companies that may have a reputation with the town as well.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to refer to the administrator. Discussion? I will. Mr. Administrator, tell us, what did we plan for and what do these numbers, how do they shore up against that?
Well, certainly a sign of the times where things are escalating somewhat out of reach. The original estimates, the construction estimates were 1.9 million. I did get a call from our architect last week and stating what the trend was, where things are 25% more. But this is like almost double. So after the bids came in at noontime today, I did call Bristol Thornton, our representatives, construction reps. And I think we're going to look to try to scale the project down in at least 1.5 million was the American Relief Plan Fund. So in the sale of public buildings was the other 400,000. So we'll do what we can with it to stay on track and continue to maintain the building and upgrade it. But I think we're going to have to take a look at how soon we want to finish the entire building. But we'll certainly meet and phase in what we think should be done next. But I don't think that we don't have the money to do the entire project from the looks of it. And it's not just here, it's all of our other projects too. In the last couple of years, they're almost getting to the point where they're out of reach. And the labor pool isn't there either with the contractors. So it's becoming very difficult to get projects done. I think one of the problems is, this is my opinion, there's a lot of federal stimulus money out there, and it's a contractor's market right now. So and supplies are just very high.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
No, all I can say is I feel your pain. So you are very correct about that. You know, it's not easy. Things have increased dramatically, and it has made it much more difficult to do some of the projects.
Okay, hearing nothing else. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is RFP 998. This is for the stage and sound for the Bristol 4th of July concert series. And we did have the bid opening today at noon. We did receive 2 bids. The first bid was from Treehouse Productions Management, Inc. in the amount of $78,980. And the second one was from Audio Solutions in the amount of $41,400.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. What's this council's pleasure?
Refer to the town administrator to act in the best interest of the town.
Isn't that
But
wonderful?
you are correct
This is
about
bad.
this
Here,
amount.
You take this, sir.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm sorry.
Would you refer to the 4th of July committee also?
Yeah, see that?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Tim to refer the administrator and 4th of July. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item of business is J3. This is Treasurer Hassel in regards to a transfer request for tourism promotion to the Christmas festival.
Hey, Sarah.
So this request is to transfer $3,000 from tourism and promotion into the Christmas festival to pay for expenses associated with the Christmas festival that happened December 10th and 11th.
Mr. Administrator?
Yeah, that it was, the process is done through the treasurer, but it was at my request, it's to help mainly with police details. The year allotment is $2,500. We have a surplus in our tourism line, and considering the amount of people that the festival brought into town, thought it'd be appropriate to transfer $3,000 from tourism to the Christmas festival line.
Council?
I make a motion that we approve the transfer.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Tim to approve the transfer. Any discussion?
I just had a quick,
Just-
just a comment, and that is in relation to the upcoming budget. This would be addressed in the upcoming budget for the next holiday season, correct?
Well, I think there's an after-action meeting needed, but it's a good possibility if the plan stays the same and Route 114 is shut down again. But if there's a change in venue, then it may not be necessary.
Okay.
But I'll know more when I get closer to the budget process.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, so we're in executives. We're going to go into executive session, and I'm going to sound like Mike Ursello here for a moment. The motion will be to convene into executive session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42-46-5A5 relative to the sale of Oliver School, and pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42-46-5A1 relative to personnel, Diane Williamson. That would be the motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron. Any discussion? I will, before we go, say congratulations, Chief, on your appointment to president, correct, of the Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association. Do I have that correct? You do, sir. Excellent. Outstanding job, sir.
Well deserved.
So we'll be back out here, but this will end this evening. Yes?
Just briefly.
Yeah. go
May
ahead.
I?
Yeah.
No, just our condolences, and I know it goes from all of us to the Burns family, Mike Burns, who provided great service to the town. And certainly he'll be greatly missed as well.
Thank you for saying that. At our next meeting, we'll be recognizing him specifically, and we'll have that on the agenda. But thank you for saying that. Okay.
Was notified in writing prior to.
Thank you for that. Okay, so we'll be back, but this will end the broadcast. Good night, everyone.